Welcome back to the channel, everybody. In this video, I'm going to teach you all the best tips and tricks during Fortnite's TMNT update. So one of the first changes is they've added these TMNT vending machines at certain areas around the map. You can buy an entire box of pizza for 100 gold here. That's way better than 125 gold for one big pot. You can find those locations at the areas marked on the map and shown here. There are 6 vending machines total. Now, I'm sure if you played before, you already know about pizza, but you throw the pizza down, and it has 8 slices. Each slice will recover 30 shield and 5 HP. You can eat slices right out of the box, or you can also take some pizza with you for later. You can carry 4 in one item slot. One bug I've come across a couple times is sometimes if you already have pizza in your inventory, it won't let you stack them from pizza slices from a different box. If this happens, simply drop the pizza in your inventory and grab 4 fresh slices. Now, these new vending machines also sell the Ninja Turtles Mythic weapons, but there's only one per vending machine, and they cost 300 gold. Each of these weapons have their own unique melee attack. You can also double jump as long as you have stamina when you have one of these weapons equipped. They also have a ground pound ability and an air dash. Do be careful dashing towards the front of a driving car though, because it will send you flying really far. Kind of cool though. After you use a dash ability, and it's on a 10-second cooldown, you can have 3 dashes in total. You can also chain these together to move forward quickly. There are also loot crate drops that come during the second circle every game, and each one will have the Pacific Ninja Turtles weapon inside of it. You can also see where these locations are as they will be marked on your minimap. You can also jump up in the air and then launch yourself really high up in the air with the dashes, and you will not take any fall damage as well. Also, while you're dashing in the air, you can also change direction to kind of side dash. Next, just going to showcase the different attacks for the different weapons. You've already seen Donatello's. So there was Leonardo's. Next is Raphael's attack. And then we're going to finish it off with Michelangelo's Nunchuck's attack. Also, you may notice as well when you do the ground pound ability, it also takes away one of the charges that you have for the air dashes. And now let's try to figure out which weapon is the best one out of the 4. So the ground pound ability with the size only does 70 damage. The dash attack for all of these weapons does exactly 85 damage. Now, a single hit with the size only does 30 damage, and a combo does 220, making it the weakest of the weapons. A single hit from Donatello's staff only does 50 damage, and if you do the entire chain attack, you'll notice it does 170 damage plus 70 for a total of 240 damage. And the ground pound attack also only does 70 damage. A single hit from Michelangelo's Nunchucks is 40 damage and a total of 270 for the entire combo. So there's an extra hit at the end that'll make it 310. But now watch this, 170 for the ground pound. That's crazy. Leonardo's katanas also do 170 on the ground pound. A single attack does 2 hits for 80 damage, and the entire combo does 230 damage plus an extra hit of 60 for 290 damage. So any one of these weapons can one-shot somebody in builds, but only the nunchucks and Leonardo's katanas can do so in 0 builds. These items are very great for mobility and can easily be acquired every single game and are cheaper than buying a grapple blade or shockwaves from an NPC. I also did a lot of testing combining these items with different mobility items. They pair very well with the Flowberry Fizz or the Flow Berries because they can send you flying really high up in the air. Also, if you use a shockwave first and then combo it, it also works very good. Now, I did some testing with the grapple blade as well. I find this works best if you grapple blade first and then switch to the Ninja Turtles Mythic to do the air dashes. Swapping in between the two didn't seem to work too well. I also tried comboing a bunch of these things together with the flow berries, and it can work really good if you hit everything perfectly, but more times than not you're probably going to bump into something or go somewhere you don't want to go. Now, trying these with the Crash Pad Juniors was the worst, in my opinion, as sometimes the Crash Pads bug out and just make you bounce up and down like so. And it's just very hard for you to actually get going to where you want to go sometimes with this item. If you are going to use it, I'd recommend just throwing down one Crash Pad and then comboing it with the Ninja Turtles Mythic. So if you are going to run double mobility with a Ninja Turtles Mythic, I'd recommend using a Flowberry item or Shockwaves. So next I'm going to talk about general combat tips and tricks when using these items. So as you see in this clip here, I ended up getting shot at just after I finished having a fight. None of my guns were reloaded, so I used the Ninja Turtles items to just dash away. Then I pulled out the Flowberry Fizz and just started jumping to get away from my opponent, and now I have an extra charge. In my Ninja Turtles item to get even farther away, I was able to reposition now, have enough time, I'm in cover, I can reload my weapons, and now I can reassess this fight and decide what to do next. All the Ninja Turtle Mythic items work great for escaping danger, and also just to move around the map in general. They are also excellent at repositioning in fights, and also just getting around your opponents or getting behind them. You can see here in this clip, I was on a bridge, and I just literally jumped off and air dashed towards my opponent and just quickly took them out with a melee attack. In this next clip, I literally jumped off a cliff and tried to do the ground pound attack on this opponent, but I flew way too far, so do keep in mind that the ground pound ability does seem to work a little differently with each weapon. But when you do manage to land that ground pound, it's just devastating. It does a lot of damage. But I really can't recommend just 50-50 opponents and jumping right on them with these items all the time. The best thing to do is to get early damage on them and then maybe close the gap with the melee weapon to finish them. As you see in that clip, I just used EMP grenades and then came in to finish the opponent. You also don't want to be using this weapon if there's a group of people fighting or a lot of people in the area just shooting, because you will most likely lose that fight almost every single time, as it's too easy for the enemies to get early damage on you. And you also want to avoid using these items in water. You can't do the melee attack while you're swimming. If you do jump up, you can do the ground pound ability. And if you want to use the air dash, you can't be moving forward while jumping. You just have to jump up and then air dash forward. Using the attack with these mythics on a bike also sucks, and the air dash also doesn't work while riding a bike. You have to jump off the bike first. Next, we're going to talk about how they brought the hoverboards back to the game. But first, if you got any value out of this video so far, or learned anything, please comment down below and let me know, or consider liking and subscribing. So the hoverboard is just a reskin of the same one that we had during Fortnite OG. Now, this item is very good for moving around the map very quickly. You can also do tricks. You won't take any fall damage while you're riding one. This is also the very best vehicle we have in the game right now for getting across water, as every other vehicle will sink. But unlike with Fortnite OG, this item is no longer infinite use, and it says it has battery power. But here's something interesting I figured out. If you take it to a gas station, you can recharge the battery by gassing it up. Like, that makes a lot of sense, but I guess it is what it is. Now, one way you can handle opponents who are riding around hoverboards is using the EMP grenades to disable it. You can also use the Anvil rocket launcher, as it will still lock onto the hoverboard, as it is considered a vehicle. And only one rocket is enough to destroy the entire hoverboard. Next, I'm going to discuss things that you should avoid while using this item. So first off, you'll want to make sure that you don't run into the board and push it away from you, especially in the storm, because it can get away from you very quickly. You also want to be sure that you're not riding the hoverboards in areas that are like really cluttered, like ruined reels here in this example. It's just not good and kind of difficult to move around. I also tried using flow berries to see if the jump effect would pass over while you're on the hoverboard, and there's no improvement. During Fortnite OG, if you use the grappler while on the hoverboard, you can pull yourself while on the board, but if you use the grapple blade, it does not. Also, if you try to use the melee attacks for the Ninja Turtle weapons, it sucks just like it does on the bike, and you also can't use the dash attack without jumping off the board first. So next, I'm going to talk about how to use the hoverboard in combat. So this item is so very good for just outmaneuvering your opponents and making yourself a very hard target to hit. It's also great for closing the gap on your opponents, for pushing opponents, for chasing opponents, and for repositioning and escaping. As you can see here, due to the movement that the hoverboard gives me, the Splinter had a very hard time just tracking me and being able to hit me. Do be warned that while you're riding a hoverboard, if an enemy has visual sound effects turned on, there will be an indicator that someone is nearby riding a hoverboard, so they will know you're there. Now, it can be quite difficult sometimes in order to hit your opponent while riding one of these hoverboards, so I highly recommend using more fully automatic weapons such as the auto shotgun, or SMGs, or the striker AR. Also, weapons with the scope, it's kind of hard to aim down sights while riding one of these, so third-person weapons seem to work the best. Where the hoverboard really excels, though, is at chasing down opponents. So as you see here, this player here was trying to escape in a vehicle, and there was no escape, because I could just easily catch up to him even if he's using the speed boost on the faster cars, they're not going to get too far. And it's also very easy to hit a vehicle opposed to a player while riding the hoverboards too. If players try to run using shockwaves with a grapple blade or the Ninja Turtle Mythics, you're also going to very easily close the gap and catch up to them as well. One thing you do really need to keep an eye on though is how much gas or energy you have left in your hoverboard. As you'll see here in this clip, I ended up running out of fuel at the worst time and started getting beamed from another opponent right after finishing this fight, but luckily I had flow berries and a Ninja Turtle Mythic in order to escape here. On the bottom left of the screen above your health bar, there will be an orange indicator that pops out warning you when you're running low on fuel for your hoverboard. Using the jump boost of the hoverboard is also a very excellent way in order to get over buildings or terrain and deflate opponents. Also, if an opponent's in the water, you're definitely going to win every single time. Definitely be afraid if you bump into an opponent on a hoverboard and you are swimming. And last but not least, along with the Ninja Turtles update, we also get a mini battle pass. They can unlock the top tier of the battle pass for free. The bottom tier costs 1,000 V-Bucks. You will get Shredder right away when you purchase it. Super Shredder is only attainable if you purchase the bonus tier for the battle pass. There's also the Krang back bling, which can be earned by completing all the Ninja Turtle quests, which are going to come out in phases over the next couple weeks here. And that will be it for this video. Big Papa Smurf 187 out. Thank you for watching. Have fun gaming, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!